Alright everyone, it's time for Vermont issues number 74, which is that Vermont high school athletics, people have been using drones to record some of the games. Like, I guess they put a camera on it, they mount it, and they get a good aerial view. They're asking people not to do that at this point. That is, the athletic, like the coaches themselves, are like, well, we don't care. The Vermont Principals Association apparently has told them not to do this. And thus, it's sort of, it's spotty as far as their, the policing of this. That is, if it's not bothering anyone, if no one's complained, nobody apparently cares. But if people say, well, you know, the drone's making too much noise, then it becomes an issue. I can kind of understand both groups, because on the one hand, someone wants to get, like, you know, a spiffy recording of the game from above, and they're like, whoa, this is going to be great compared to just sitting here with my camera or my phone. On the other hand, though, if it's bothering people, yeah, I think that'd be an issue. People are kind of paying to go see the game. As a non-sports fan myself, probably not the sort of thing I would really care about. But I put yourself in the other person's shoes, though. Let's say you're doing anything else where you want to be able to focus on something, and someone's floating a drone around your head recording you, or recording something nearby. Could be a little bit on the annoying side. Like, you know, you take a walk in the woods, like, oh, it's so quiet, I can hear the birds chirping, and the bunnies making bunny noises, and the squirrels chittering away, and then all of a sudden a drone comes swooping through, and, you know, the animals go shit themselves and run off into the woods. Yeah, it'd be a little bit annoying, I suppose. You know, maybe once it would be funny. After that, it would just become an annoyance, I think. So I can kind of understand. I would think it would be more about distracting the players, though, by having drones floating overhead. Now, they're also saying, well, it could injure players or spectators. You know, one of these drones, suddenly one of its rotors breaks and goes careening off into the crowd and slices somebody's throat open, I guess, with one of its little spinny things there, its little propellers. Yeah, that could be bad. I guess the principals are like, oh yeah, I'm watching the game, sitting here worried about the drone hitting me in the back of the head and slicing through my skull. That wouldn't be good for business. You know, anytime a spectator gets their head lopped off by a drone, not great. Another possibility. What if somebody's like a total psycho and puts some sort of weapon on one of these drones just to cause a mass casualty event? What if they strap a bomb to it? What if they strap a really high-powered laser pointer to it and start trying to blind the players because they're just a total cretin? You could have such a situation, but keep one thing in mind here. What these drones are doing fundamentally could be accomplished through other means anyway. Like a person could just bring a laser pointer and start doing that anyway. A person could attack such a sports venue regardless, with or without a drone. A person can be, you know, a little bit shitty while recording. They can be too loud and obnoxious, stand up and block people's view regardless, just by using the camera on their phone. So I'm not sure it's 100% really that big a problem. I haven't heard many cases of people getting decapitated by drones yet. So while I can see it would certainly happen, I think Germany developed drones that it equipped with flamethrowers to go burn brush off of power lines or something. Leave it to, you know, Merkel's people to do so. Oh, we're totally not going to use these to kill dissenters within the population at some point if we need to. They probably would. I think that, wasn't it Kalashnikov, the company, I think a couple days ago announced, hey, Russian police, like their motorcycle police, they're going to be using like drone platforms pretty soon. They're actually developing these sorts of things. And it looks a little bit like a speed bike from Star Wars. Or so I know somebody actually constructed something like that. I wonder if they use the same basic premise. A person can actually use a drone as a vehicle if it's oversized enough. Of course, those little recording drones that you're using at a sports venue, they probably wouldn't lift much more than a chicken or a cat or something. You could put a little basket on it, and you could have like a little sports mascot doll and just float it around. Maybe that would be funny. You could use it for concession stand sort of activities too. Instead of having someone walking around potentially getting in people's way to give them hot dogs, just have people with a little cue card that they hold up, the drone goes over, they put the money in, they open the little thing, and they get their hot dog or their beer or whatever. Of course, I don't think they sell beer at high school athletic venues. They probably should, though. Yeah, it'd probably make them better. High school sports probably better than professional sports anyway. Probably more talent. That's for sure. You don't see people kneeling for the pledge quite so often. A little less on the activist bullshit side, the craptivism side. But I can understand why they would want to keep drones away from sporting games. Just like you would want to keep drones away from a lot of other things. Like there have been cases where they fly a drone over their neighbor's property, start shooting pictures or footage. There's no real legal recourse. There's no particular rule in place in a lot of places for someone's privacy or their property being violated by somebody recording them. Personally, I think that people should be able to just blow them out of the sky. I think that if you're using a drone on public property or your own property, who cares? You're flying it over the street and taking some cool footage, looking at a commercial venue. When it begins seeping into residential private property where people make their home, that's a little creepy. At the very least, you're being a little bit on the creepy side if you're doing that. That's about all. Peace out.